I got your music. There we go. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural and probably ultimate episode of Twits for the 2013-14 season. Joining me once again from his palatial estate in Brownwood proper, 3 luxury sleds in the driveway, Mr. Mike Paddock. How are you, sir?
Hola, doing fine. What's happening up north?
Excellent. I like the Spanish. Coming out of the deep freeze finally, Mike. We've had a harsh winter. It's been if it isn't 20 below, it's snowing. So hopefully we are done with that crap. We're in the 20s. I think the rest of the week here, so that'll be good. What's been going on in your world? Freshly back from Puerto Rico, as I understand.
See.
Yep. Spreading the gospel of the SFFL in the Central American region.
As best as I could with my broken English, my broken Spanglish.
Right. Well, you never know, Mike. We're always looking to expand, and certainly we wouldn't rule out the good people of the Commonwealth there. So, well, that's good.
Yeah, the owners' meeting needs to be down there. I can tell you that right now. That's a nice place.
Well, it is, Mike, coming up, as most people know, our 20th anniversary. So I think that is either Silver or Puerto Rico, one of the two. Something, one of those. So yeah, that would be bumping it up a notch. So yeah, Mike, we're back on the air. I know you had a busy fall, and mine was a little hectic too. So we didn't get to too many at-all episodes during the season, but we'll make up for it here, Mike. The Northern Tier tonight is sponsored by one of 6 beers I had last night, unfortunately, for how I feel right now. This is Deschutes Mirror Pond. It's the palest of the beers that I have, and it's really, really good. Highly recommended, and yeah, about the only thing I can get down my throat at the moment, she said. So, how about the Southern Tier, Mikey?
I'm bringing you another Texas brew from Real Ale, called the Phoenix. It's a double ESB, the extra special bitter.
Wow!
Nice little brew out of the guys down in Blanco, Texas. Not Blanco, Blanco.
Henry Blanco?
Henry?
Hank the Crank.
He's still playing?
Yeah, I think he is still playing, like with the Phillies or something.
He's only 52.
Yeah,
he's only 52. He's got 8 more years to go.
Exactly. Yes, this one from Deschutes, obviously out of Oregon. So, yeah, I had if anyone, I don't know if any of you out there have kids in football, but Friday Night Tykes. A bunch of the guys I coach football with were over last night. We watched the first 4 episodes of that. Definitely worth it if you wanted to see how crazy it is in Texas with youth football. It's insane. So Friday Night Tykes, highly recommended, along with the Mirror Pond. And also the what's that?
I was gonna say, from seeing some of the high school football stadiums, I can believe that the Tykes is probably pretty wild too.
Well, I tell you what, we love it as coaches. I mean, it's basically no rules down there. You don't have to play the kids any certain period of time. You don't have to play them at all. Apparently, there's no rules on how hard you can work them or how long you can run them in 99-degree heat. So, much easier from a coaching perspective. Yeah. So this Deschutes was one of 6 beers last night, Mikey. It was the Alaskan Oatmeal Stout, the 3rd Street Lost Trout Brown Ale, Ballast Point Amber Ale, Lucid Photo, which I think may have replaced, what was the one we liked?
Dino?
Camo.
Oh, Camo?
No, Camo, yeah. They got into trouble with that name because it was a copyright infringement or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Photo is now their IPA, I think. And then Burr Seasonal Ale from Widmer. So,
Burr.
yeah, quite the night. Mikey, why don't we have you start us off here and give us a little breakdown of the 2013-14 playoffs.
Well, yeah, congratulations to the commish for busting through with that Seattle defense. It was nip and tuck there going into the Super Bowl. But Jeff moves into second place with his third title, tying Tom, and still one behind Greg, though. Greg also the only back-to-back champion of the SFFL back in 2006 and 7, so I wasn't able to repeat myself. Playoff appearances.
I'm going to give it a shot next year.
Yeah. Playoff appearances also, you moved into first place with 11, and Thad has 8, and then I moved in with 7, and Bill, the newcomer, both years he's been in the league, he's been in the playoffs, so nice work. Excellent.
All right, well, yes, and congratulations to you, Thad, and Bill, too, on tough little playoff run there. That was, like you said, it was dip and tuck, especially Thad. He obviously having 6 Seahawks, that was a little frightening going into that last round. So, yeah, so that was the year that was 2013-14. Mike, looking ahead now a little bit to 2014-15, our 20th year of existence. Given how we do the scheduling and everything now, we now know at this point in time what the conference affiliations will be for next year. So I'll go ahead and give those to everyone. Next year, representing the NFC, Mike, will be Greg, Evan, Tim, Bill, and Jeff. And representing the AFC will be Tom, Mickey, Wayne, Mr. Paddock, and Thad. So those are your conference affiliations for next year. And Mike, we also at this point know the Week 1 matchups. Next year, Week 1. Mike, you will be taking on Bill, Week 1. The commish and Tim will be taking each other on Week 1 there. Greg will tussle with Evan. Tom and Mickey and Wayne and Thad are your Week 1 matchups for, what are we looking at, about 8 months from now. So
you have the draft order, too.
Yes, draft order is also available, and I'll have to try to remember that off the top of my head. I believe it is Tom with a big comeback to pull ahead of Greg for the 1 pick. So I think he's picking 1. Greg 2, Mickey 3, Evan 4, Wayne 5, Tim 6, Mike 7, Bill 8, Thad 9, and Jeff 10, I believe. 99% sure that will be the order. So, yes. Yeah, Tom, I think, scored something. I forget the number he put up in the last in the Super Bowl, basically. But he put up a big number. Greg had a huge lead, but Tom ended up winning, I think, by about 10 points. So, he will have that shot at number 1. Other news and notes, Mike. Just a couple of things here. I've been working kind of all year on a new free agent form, which hopefully we can show a graphic of right here, and there'll also be a link out on the website too. It's going to kind of replace all the different ones we've had for premium. It's going to look more kind of like anyone who's ever done NFL.com. It's going to look a little bit like that. You're going to be able to have kind of a 3-week outlook. You'll be able to filter on free agents only. I'll also be doing taking Yahoo and ESPN projections for each week and converting that over to our scoring system. And so you'll be able to kind of sort free agents by stats for a given time period or the whole year, or by, those projections or whatever you want. So it'll kind of be a one-stop shop, and that'll get us down to one form, and I think that'll be helpful to most owners out there. The other thing I'm looking at doing is probably, and we can talk more at the summer meeting about this, but putting the trades back in. I know that we had some fairly tight restrictions to try and prevent one-sided trades, but I think hopefully going forward we'll all be able to just to use some good common sense on that, and then we'll put the trades in kind of like where it used to be, where you could send a request to someone and then they, I think, would have 24 hours or 48 hours to approve it. So I'll need to get the code down on that. Now with Thursday Night Football, we'll have probably have to have the trades done before then, but at least you'll have that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday window to get a trade done. So looking at adding those back in.
Well, it's going to be tougher this year too. They're going to have how many Thursday night games? They're going to be. Is it going to be 2, or is it just going to be different?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a different network. So the first 8 weeks, it's going to be on CBS and NFL Network, and then I think the next 6 will just be NFL Network, and then the last 2, I think they're going to bring back a Saturday game instead. So I think the number of games on Thursday will remain the same. So it's just a matter of which network is carrying it. So get ready to see a lot of gymnastics in September and October. So, Mike, with that said, I think that's most of the recap and news and notes. Let's take a look at the record setters for last year. And there were quite a few, Mike. I'll lead us off here on our first docket page here. We got Week 9, Mike. The NFC set the all-time record for conference point total with 354. Helped out a bunch by Tim's 114-point outburst.
Yeah, against me.
I had 75, Thad 68, Tom 42, and Wayne 55. So by a pretty healthy margin, set the all-time mark. And then just kind of not really a record that was set last year, but this graphic shows in the history of the SFFL when a defensive scoring has provided the difference in a matchup. So let's say you get a touchdown from your defense and you win by 3 points. So that basically is a scenario. You can see quite the disparity here. Mickey, 20-9 in those games. 690 winning percentage, and you go all the way down to Thad, who, when defense decides the game, is sitting at the Mendoza line, flat 200. So quite the disparity. Not a ton of games for each owner, but I thought that was pretty interesting, the range there. Bill, notably 4-0 in those games. So, and then Mike, quarterback points. Wayne came very close to taking down Fred. Second place all-time now, 287 points. Most of those from Mr. Peyton Manning, obviously. I think Fred was a quarterback by Aaron Rodgers in his 1 year in the league. I think Aaron may have nipped him on some rushing touchdowns that year. I think he had like 6 or something, so that may have been the difference. Mike, how about tight end records for this year?
Well, Tim set the second place tight end points, 2013 with 158. Only 8 behind Wayne in 2011. I don't know. Well, Tim had Jimmy Graham. No.
Yeah, Wayne, I'm pretty sure that was Wayne's year of Gronk. I think that was Gronk's breakout year.
I don't know who Tim had this year. Do you?
Jimmy Graham.
Oh. And then also Tom came in with the 5th place tight ends with 118.
Yes.
And I'm looking at place kicker points, which may or may not be matched if they get rid of the extra point. Mickey set the record this year, besting you by 2.
Ugh.
And you had it way back in 1998.
Yes, that was Gary Anderson with the Vikings.
Oh.
Didn't miss all year, and Gostkowski quietly had quite the year.
Must have. And Thad actually came in with the fifth best at 160, so not too far behind.
Yep.
And then total points for the year, Tim, Thad, and Bill are numbers 4, 5, and 6 this year, and then you came in at 8.
Yeah, so we had 4 of the top 10 spots ever claimed this year. So, quite the little outburst offensively from us. Mike, this graphic just shows a number of roster moves, so it kind of shows who's changing their roster on a week-to-week basis. Mike, you were very busy this year. 59 roster changes.
Got me what I needed to get, didn't it?
I believe Evan was low man at 21. So just a fun little graphic there. And then Mike, this shows our player points in terms of SFFL scoring only, top 10. So Adrian Peterson will continue to climb those ranks. He may very well jump up to number 1 next year. I think. Well, Gans may come back. Jones Drew is still going. Antonio Gates is still going. So is Gore. So I guess the guys at the bottom are still active. But yeah, just interesting to note that Adrian Peterson might be. I suppose if he was something in the double-digit touchdowns plus yards, that would probably get him up into that number 1 range next year.
As long as that groin holds up, didn't he get a surgery done?
Yeah, I can't remember what yeah, I think it was groin this year, yeah. Obviously ACL last year, so yeah, I think he's supposed to be fine. And then we had Mike this year in week number 1. We set the all-time SFFL tight end scoring in a week record with what looks to be 81. And then also week 5 of this year, Mike set the all-time kicker scoring record in a week with 101 points. So basically everyone's kicker averaged double digits for a week, which is pretty impressive. Mike, I think you got something on opening day points.
Yeah, opening day points. I think I probably played Thad that game too. I can't remember that far back, but Thad set the record at 88, besting Tom. And then third place was Tom this year, actually. So Tom is second and third. He had 81. And then Bill in the 5th, and Tim in the 6th place. So quite the opening weekend.
Yes, very high scoring opening week.
And then most points in a week, aforementioned Tim's 114 in week 9. And then Wayne had 103. Oh, sorry, that's not it. Well, he beat Wayne's 103 from 2011.
Yep. Yeah, Wayne had back-to-back 103s. Yeah, but Tim is a new title holder at 114. That's going to be extremely difficult to take down.
And Tom got 7th place with 89 in week 17.
Yes. Largest margin of victory, previously held by Mike in a 64-point beatdown of Evan. Tim is now the holder of that in a cruel twist, Mike. An 80-point victory over you.
The points just kept coming.
Well, when you get a $114 scored against you, it's not going to be pretty no matter how you look at it. So, Tim, the new record holder there, too. Most bonus points in a week, the commish with 39. Squeaks by Thad, who had the previous record at 38, set just last year in week 16. Mike, how about most running back points?
Most running back points, Bill came in 3rd with 44 in week 15 with Jamal Charles and Ben Tate. And that's about it for last year. And then
that's good enough for first place tie. Yeah.
Oh, so that is a tie. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
So it ties you and Wayne.
Yes.
And then most single running back points in a week, Bill with 40 from Jamal Charles in week 2013. That's number 1.
Wow, 40 puntos.
Now that was at what was it, 5?
It was great per game, right?
Yeah, 5 touchdown receptions or something, or
yeah,
it was
that's insane. Most games, 40 plus points in a season. Previously, that's been done for a clean sweep for the entire year by myself, Greg, Mike, and Tom, and then this year, Tim and Bill joined that club. All 17 weeks, over 40 points. So,
nice.
Yep. And then most games decided by 10 points or more, so double digit, either loss or victory. The commish involved in 15 of those this year. 10-5 on the year, so 15 total. That beats kind of a log jam at 14. There were 14 that happened 5 times in the past. Mikey, how about most wins by 24 points or more?
Yeah, most wins by 24 points or more. You moved into a tie. Second place with 6 this past year. And then Thad in a tie for 3rd with 5. And then Bill in a tie for 4th with 4.
Yep.
Big scoring out of the trio there. Most points in 2 consecutive games in the season. Tim with 180 in weeks 9 and 10. They didn't score too much in 10, apparently. And
they still put up like 70 that week.
Yeah,
or 60. Not bad.
Good. And then Bill also with 163 in weeks 14 and 15, which was a big surprise that I actually beat him out for the. I think he was in my division. I actually ended up beating him out barely.
Mike, this is kind of notable. Most consecutive weeks, 30 plus points or more. That streak started back in week 1 of 2010 for Mr. Hodgson and continued all the way to week 11 of this year. So 62. That's basically Joe DiMaggio's consecutive hit streak right there. Next closest is 33. So that's probably going to hang for a while. So Mike, here's a look at a little 4 blocker for all you 3Mers. All-time winning percentage, opening day records, first month records, and last month records. Just give you a kind of visual of those 4 stats. Looks like I like to get off to a good start and then fade, apparently. Sounds about right. And then, so this is the next graphic is the league high scoring week. So yes, week 1 of this year we talked a little bit about 632 points, which was the most ever by about 20. And then week 3, 608, good for 3rd. Or excuse me, week 4, 608, good for 3rd. And then week 15, 587, good for 8th. So definitely did our offensive work this year in the league. Mike, this next graphic shows the highest combined scoring between 2 owners. So Tim and Thad, 91-79. That takes over first place from Jeff and Amy back in 2010. 170 points combined between Tim and Thad. So quite the shootout there. The next graphic shows all-time wins against another opponent. So Mickey, 25-11 against Evan, and Greg, 25-14 against Evan. So those are the most wins, 25 all-time, one owner versus another. And then lastly on this page, Mikey, I did not realize that this streak was intact, but I did verify it. Greg has handled Mick in 14 consecutive meetings, dating from week 1 of 2007 until week 14 of this year.
Wow.
So 14 in a row. So that is the new record. He, once again, Mike, Greg had beaten you 13 straight times from 2002 to 2008. So continuing to pile up the numbers there is Mr. Hodgson. How about, let's see, I think is that it for our, yeah, that's it. That is it for our record setters. So, yeah, quite the year offensively for everyone in the SFFL. So, all right, Mike. So, I think that's about it from up here. So good to be back in the saddle, so to speak. Shake off some of the rust. Next time we talk will probably be probably post-summer meeting, I'm guessing. NFL draft coming up in May this year, Mike. Don't forget to set your clock for that.
A little later this year.
Yeah, a little later. So that'll be coming up in May. And then
it doesn't affect the summer meeting, though.
No, it does not. No. They're mutually exclusive. So summer meeting, we'll get some rule changes, hopefully. That's actually a great point. Anyone who's watching this now, obviously the year is pretty fresh in your mind, so if there was something this year in terms of a feature you wanted or something, or a rule change or anything like that, jot it down now, and we can talk about that at the summer meeting. Send it in if you're remote, and we'll get that taken care of, and then we'll put a twits out after that, recapping, and then before you know it, Mike, it'll be draft day again. So, all right. Well, on that note, I'm gonna take my Mirror Pond Pale Ale. We'll bid you a good night from the ice box up here, and we'll probably talk with you sometime in July, Mikey.
Adios.
Adios.